You are now
in the paint.
It's Pac-12 Women's Hoops, and we bring you the best the conference has to offer every week. We're your hosts. I'm Roz Goldon-Woode. He's Kevin Dana, and KD is going to take you through the rundown of today's show.
Well, we have our usual stock watch, starting with a team to look out for, quack, quack, and a player to look out for as well. Then we have our big game of the week, which, by the way, Roz, is big game. And then we're going to break down a game-winning shot that happened this past weekend. But first, Roz, what's up with the standings?
There's been a lot of movement in the standings, and it just goes to show you how important each game is in Pac-12 play. And in this past week, there are a lot of exciting finishes.
A couple of overtime finishes, Roz. On Thursday, Utah getting the big win in Tucson against the Arizona Wildcats, a team that is at the bottom of the standings but can give anybody a game in this conference. Really played Cal tough. And then Oregon State going on the road at USC and taking down the women of Troy 65-61. Shouts out to Allie Gibson,
Baller.
14 points in that one and 4 of her points coming in overtime. So those are a couple of teams that are going to make some noise going forward in Pac-12 play.
Hey, there were some more thrillers. This past Sunday, we told you to watch this game last week.
Oh, we did.
It was a goodie. Washington State at Cal. It was a back and forth game down to the last minute, but eventually Cal would pull it out and win at home. They've won 6 straight. Also, Colorado went to Arizona, won at Arizona by 2 thanks to a game-winner shot by their star player, Chucky Jeffrey. Later in the show, we'll take a look at how she got that shot.
It's time for our stock watch. We'll start with our team of the week, and it's the run-and-gun Oregon Ducks getting a big win on the road, 83-62 at UCLA. And you take a look at that UCLA number in a run-and-gun game, and you say, well, it's only 62 points. The Ducks must have played some defense, and they certainly did, holding UCLA to just 30% field goal shooting. And then offensively, they've been doing it without Amanda Johnson, 20 points and 10 rebounds per game through her first 9 before the thumb injury. And so they've had to have some other players step up.
Who's stepping up for them?
Well, Jasmine Holiday, for starters, 21 points and 13 rebounds in her return to her home state. And then how about Liz Brenner, the volleyball player who gets called up by Paul Westhead to play some basketball because Amanda Johnson's injured, gets her first career double-double with 15 points and 11 rebounds. And you got to think, once Amanda Johnson comes back, this Oregon team's going to be very dangerous going forward in the second half of Pac-12 play.
Agreed, KD. And now I'm going to highlight a player that you should be watching out for. Her stock is rising, and it's Utah's Janita Badon, specifically in overtime. Utah has 2 conference wins, and they've both been in OT. This is a team that guts it out in extra time, and they're led by their fearless point guard, Janita Badon, who's leading the conference in assists with 5.5 a game. But that's not all she does. She also brings about 11 points per game, 6 rebounds per game for this team. But when it matters most, she rises to the occasion. She steps her game up and increases her productivity. Let's take it back to that first overtime victory against Washington, where Badon had 16 points and the three-pointer that sent the game into overtime. In that extra period, she had the first basket of the game and also the steal on defense that led to the second. Okay, now let's fast forward to this past week. Last Thursday against Arizona, in overtime, she led the team with 22 points, 8 of those happening in those final 5 minutes. You know, KD, a lot of players under pressure, they shrink. But not Janita Badon. She rises to the occasion, and she's led her team to 2 much-needed wins.
All right, it's time for our big game of the week. And Roz, what is it?
The top 2 teams in the conference are facing off in the Battle of the Bay. The California Bears will head over to Maples Pavilion to take on the Stanford Cardinal. The Cardinal are number 4 in the nation. They're undefeated in Pac-12 play. But check this out, the Bears, they're sizzling hot themselves. They come off of a 6-game win streak. And KD, both of these teams have momentum.
Yep.
What should we be looking out for?
Well, this might surprise you, Ross, since I'm such a great three-point shooter and I drilled a few in your face back in the day.
Not true.
100%
this is a lie.
True. Don't listen to her. What we should be concerned with, Ross, is the rebounding, because we have the top 2 rebounding teams in the conference in this game and 2 of the top 5 rebounding teams in the country. So whoever gobbles up the most missed shots, whether it's the tandem of Cal's Brandon and Caldwell or the Aglumake sisters for Stanford, or whether it's some role players that are getting those missed shots, I think it's going to give their team a big edge in this game.
So it looks like it's going to be the battle of the boards in the battle of the Bay.
Look at that alliteration.
We're very special.
Talented.
All right, KD, so what are your keys to the game?
All right, well, for Stanford, I think they need to get out to an early lead and hold it from there, because Stanford is a team that their one problem has been letting teams hang around a little longer than normal. Oregon State, Washington, all were able to make it a game for longer than expected. And if they let Cal hang around, Cal might do more than just hang around, because this is the #2 team in the conference. And then for the Golden Bears, they need to make their free throws. This is a team that is last in the conference in free throw shooting at 61%. It's going to be tough as it is to win on the road, especially at Maples, but when you leave points at the line, you make it all that more difficult on your team.
This past Sunday, Colorado pulled off a thrilling finish and got the win at Arizona by 2 points, thanks to their star player, Chucky Jeffrey, and her game-winning shot. Right now, we're going to break down how Jeffrey was able to get that last-second look. It's a tie game with 34.7 seconds. Arizona opens in a 1-2-2 zone. To start, everyone is aware of a Colorado player on defense. Chucky Jeffrey is going to hit the game winner. So let's see where she starts. She's had a tough game so far, only 5 points at this point of the game, but she's still their go-to player and leading scorer at 15.3 points per game. You have to be aware of her. Colorado is going to run the clock down and put Jeffrey in motion. Jeffrey sets a screen against the zone, and Seabrook sets a screen against the outside of the zone for Jen Reese to cut baseline out to 3. She's 1 for 10 for the season from behind the arc, so keep that in mind. This is not their first option. Don't get confused. This play is for Jeffrey. Colorado wants to cause confusion, shifts in the zone, and find Jeffrey in motion after she sets the screen. And they do. Davlin White is going to do the right thing and rotate over to Seabrook when her teammate pushes out to Reese cutting baseline. They're very concerned about this player cutting baseline. Now look at Janita Arnold. She's sagging into the paint weak side, and she's got the first pass out to the weak side wing. Here's the problem. Check out Reiko Thomas. She's in space. Yes, she's in a zone, but she still has matchup responsibilities, and she's not guarding anyone right now. She needs to duck in and protect the elbow mid-foul line area and be more active in discouraging that pass into the heart of their zone. Unfortunately, she isn't, and Jeffrey is wide open for the jumper.
They get it to Jeffrey. Chucky with the jumper and the 56-54 lead.
It's not all on Thomas. The zone is sometimes harder than a player-to-player defense. You have to follow rules, rotate fast, and communicate. It seems there was a breakdown in communication, and Chucky Jeffrey and Colorado were the benefactors.
Well, that will do it for episode 3 of In the Paint. Episode 4 will be coming at you next week. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to hit us up on Twitter at Rosgo21 for this gal, at Kevo408 for this guy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and peace out.